And welcome back to the Raw Reviews channel, and today we're taking a look at the NECA Ben Cooper Alien Costume Action Figure. Take a closer look at the Alien sort of like costume figure right here. Of course, it is based around the Ben Cooper lineup with the costume kids, as I like to call them, and this is one of their specialty figures, similar to the, what do we do? I want to say Beetlejuice. That one was one of the other figures I reviewed, similar to this one. So you can see that the packaging has a unique look to it, with this very bright red, has this sort of like outline around the window. You of course get the Alien title up there, the Ben Cooper logo, and this title down here stating it's an action figure. Love the window right here showcasing the action figure, of course. You of course get on this side the title, or like sort of a text saying it's a costume and mask, the Ben Cooper logo, and then it's pretty much the same thing on this side, except it has the number showing where it falls into the lineup. And unlike the other previous figures, this one just has a bigger shot of the action figure, and some text running throughout it. Unlike the sort of like, I guess like a checklist sort of in a way, so they kind of removed that. But of course, one thing that they didn't forget is to credit all the people that worked on this action figure. You can find it right here, and then of course there is some other logos, the barcode, things like that on the bottom. And then the top of the box showcases the Alien name right there, and the NECA logo and Ben Cooper logo as well. So I'll go ahead and get out the figurine, and we can go from there. And here's our trick-or-treater right here, and getting a good look at the costume kid this time around. It looks incredible. Gotta say, love the unique sort of like look that they have for this movie themed sort of like costume. Really gets it on point, but of course, I'll go ahead and start from top to bottom. So taking a look at the mask of the figure, it looks pretty much on point. It is, of course, sort of like this Halloween mask, so nothing too crazy. But I do like the attention to detail. Of course, you get that inner skull right here from the Xenomorph. And I thought this was really cool. Look at that. Not sure if it shows as good on camera, but it is a clear plastic running on the top of the sort of like skull or mask. So that's really neat. I like that little small detail. And then, of course, within the mask, you get the kid's eyes shown in there, which is super adorable. And then, of course, you get the Xenomorph mouth right there. Really, really cool style, sort of like mask. And as far as articulation goes, he does have a joint right here at the neck. So you get some pretty decent articulation, moves all the way around. Taking a look now at the torso, of course, is the main costume right here with this graphic. But I will say, the graphic looks kind of goofy. I feel like it would have been better if they just completely darkened this bit. I'm sure it would have looked a little less cartoony or kind of childish in my opinion, because that does not look like a Xenomorph. It looks more like Bender from like Futurama or something. But other than that, it is what it is. So you get this sort of like comic graphic of the Xenomorph with that big old mouth. That's what I'm saying. It would have looked a little bit better if it had a more realistic graphic. Has this sort of like action punch card, sort of like yellow, in the background. And then this bit, not really sure what they were going on with. I guess they're going with the whole look of the shadowing of the Xenomorph, but it kind of looks like it's an animatronic, like, what am I trying to put, like a spring-lock suit or something, or like endoskeleton. So kind of interesting choice. What I would have done is, he does come with that background piece. Let me clear it up real quick. He does come with this, so it's like the costume shop background, but this time it's the galaxy. That's what I would have put instead of that whole like endoskeleton graphic in the background. I would just put like a galaxy or something. But it is what it is, so it's not too bad, I guess. The material that they use is pretty much the same thing. Feels a little bit like softer, I guess. Usually it's a bit stiff. And then of course you get this continuing sort of like outfit right here. Has this Velcro piece to take off the costume. And I've said this before, don't really know why they add that, because what other costume would go alongside, the Xenomorph in this case? So there isn't really anything you could swap it out with. And there isn't a ball joint, at least I don't feel one in here. He does kind of like swivel around on the upper part of the torso, but that's pretty much it. Looking at the arms, arm sticks out right there. And thankfully, to the sort of like shorter sleeve, you are able to go all the way around. There's the elbow joint going all the way up, swivel, and articulation at the wrist and at the hand. Other side as well. Arm sticks out right there, goes all the way around. Of course, he does have that double elbow, swivel, and articulation at the wrist and at the hand. Looking down here at the sort of like pant or the legs, he is almost able to go into like a full-on split. He is able to sit down, and he goes back about there, and you can kind of feel like a swivel right here near the thigh area, and he is able to kneel right about there. And now checking out the feet. Of course, he got on these Jordan 3s right here. He's in style this Halloween. Feet do go down, they point up, and there is a bit of a rocker ankle. Saves some good action poses. And moving on to the accessory, since I already showed the backdrop that he comes with, the only accessory that he does come with is a trick-or-treat bag. Checking out the trick-or-treat bag, I'm pretty sure we have gotten this graphic before with one of the other trick-or-treaters. Actually, it's right over here. The Frankenstein girl has it. It's right there in front of my face. So yeah, we have gotten this graphic before. But yeah, again, it is a very high quality sort of like trick-or-treat bag. Nothing too crazy, but again, going with the sort of like movie collaboration, I would have liked at least like an alien sort of like themed bag. That would have been kind of neat to go along with him. But otherwise, it is what it is. So it is a really nice sort of old-fashioned graphic like we've seen before. And then of course I'll put it on the figure. And there's the trick-or-treater with the Halloween bag. And now for the overview of the figure. Not too bad. I will say that I was expecting a little bit more with the collaboration with Alien, of course, but costume-wise, it isn't that bad. I like the mask. I like how they were doing like this sort of like, the Xenomorph, and then the clear plastic on top of that mask is really cool. Would like a more realistic sort of like graphic on that shirt, and I think it would have made it even better. And also to add on to the sort of collaboration would have been a sort of like alien themed, I don't know, bucket or a trick or treating bag. Even with the graphic, if they wanted to keep the cat, just make it look like Jonesy or Jones, I believe was the name of the cat. But yeah, I would have done something like that. But overall, if you are a fan of Alien, this is a kind of a neat Halloween themed collectible that you can sort of have in your collection, things like that. But in that case, I would probably look for like more of the bigger themed characters for next year. I do know that they have been bringing out tons of Halloween kits, or like these Ben Cooper costume kits, since I've been recording these videos. But yeah, overall, I am really happy with the turnout this year with our selection of costume kits that we're able to review. And I hope you guys enjoyed me reviewing these costume kits as much as I did, getting to record and get them in hand. I just enjoy them a lot, and they add to the atmosphere so much. I mean, look at this. Like, with just even like two, like, let's say, I don't know, maybe like this one, or I mean, all of them are pretty cool, but even if you have like three figures, let's say, it still adds to the atmosphere. You have some classic monsters here. adding more and more trick-or-treaters, of course, makes it even better. But yeah, the movie ones are really good. I think if I were to get more of the movie inspired ones or like the collaboration kind, I would probably go towards more of the classic um Halloween movie type of characters. Like I think Leatherface was one. I know they've been doing a lot of modern ones so far, so definitely be on the lookout for those. But yeah, this will be my final you know, Ben Cooper costume kit sort of video for this month. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Definitely gonna be pushing for even more spookiness for next year. And with that being said, hope you guys have a fantastic Halloween season.